Welcome to the Thriving Mayor Show, the weekly broadcast featuring former and current mayors who are thriving, sharing their story, insight, wisdom, and viewpoint. Join us and comment on social media as we meet another of the superheroes we elect to lead the rejuvenation of our towns and cities and who serve us all. Visit www.thrivingmayor.com to learn more. Here we go. Good morning, everyone. It's March the 10th, 2021. I'm Michael Hubicki. I'm the host of the Thriving Mayor Show, and I'm super honored and happy today to have as our guest Thriving Mayor, Heather Colberg, the Mayor of Drumheller, Alberta. Good morning, Heather. How are you today?
Very good. How are you, Michael?
Amazing, amazing day. We're supposed to go up, I think, to almost 10 degrees Celsius today, so it's a good day.
Oh, goodness. Well, we're still -1 or so.
Well, the dinosaurs like it cold, I think, don't they?
Well, no. Actually, they like it warm, so we need to get some heat.
Well, we'll hear all about that from and some of your books, I'm sure, as we get into the interview. But thanks again, Heather, so much for joining the show. And I'd just like to read a little short bio to introduce you to our listeners and watchers. Heather was born and raised in Drumheller, the community she loves. She spent most of her working career alongside her family at Highway 9 Express Limited. From humble beginnings with her parents, together with her 3 brothers, Heather became intimately involved in the company from an early age and was fortunate to spend many hours working with family, gaining multiple business, life, and people skills in the process. She still operates the website HCM Lifestyle alongside her daughter Madison, and they share inspiring stories and informative blogs to help everyday people. Heather's 4th children's dinosaur book is due this spring, alongside her new business book called Leading with Elegance. She's passionate about volunteering for food banks, Earth Day cleanup, and serving on numerous committees. Some of her favorite quotes include, "I believe giving back in any form will change your life." And finally, she says that she's got the best job in the Valley as being mayor.
That's right. That's all true.
That's awesome. You're a second thriving mayor, Heather, who's written a children's book, along with George Cuff, who wrote Tucker Goes to City Hall. So,
when you live in the land of the dinosaurs, it's almost became a natural thing. And Madison and I just got kind of brainstorming one day, and we started writing. And yeah, now we have 17 of them that we need to get published. And it's just really been in the last, few months that all of a sudden we're connecting with different illustrators, because it's hard. Like, some illustrators take a long time, others are quicker. And so we just started connecting, and now we've got different illustrators involved. So yeah, we're super excited. We actually created a kind of a brand called Dino Adventures.
Dino Adventures.
Yeah.
And so what's the theme? Obviously with 17, there's a series or a theme. Can you share that with us and what the inspiration for that was?
It really comes down to life lessons. And, the funny thing is, it started, we were in a restaurant and there was a mom really struggling with her little one and trying to, teach lessons. And so it just kind of one thing led to another. And so, yeah, they're all, we call it life lessons from the dinosaur capital of the world.
Wow. That's neat. And what's the first title that'll be published?
The first one is 2 magic words.
Oh, cool. And what are the magic words?
Well, they're the simple ones, please and thank you.
Thank you, right. So, I guess I had a good teacher growing up too.
Well, and coming from the teaching from the side of a dinosaur. So
Okay.
the dinosaurs actually teaching lessons, and they're just different dinosaur creations that we made. The original book actually has 2 dinosaurs that are actually in Drumheller. But the other ones we've created as we've gone along. And so, yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. Yeah.
That sounds super, super fun and will be really rewarding. And it I think you've got your business book, and I think you also had a chapter in a leadership book from a couple of years ago.
Well, I had a chapter in a book called Women Talk, and it's again just women sharing their ideas and experiences. And so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. Women Talk is a great thing in here in Alberta. Bridget leads an amazing group of women who all share their stories, and we all have a story of some sort. We all have a
Yeah.
story to share. And originally we got involved because Madison, my daughter, was born with a cleft lip and palate,
Mm.
and so she shared her journey, and then became part of the book, and now the Leading with Elegance book is really inspired by my mom, because my mom
Wow.
was very, very. Her tagline was "Make sure you put your lips on." That was her. But she, just over the years taught different tips, and I learned from her and different people. And so so this book, hopefully I have it. That's the biggest problem with writing a book like this, because you have so many ideas, and so when is it perfect? You just want to make it perfect. So I've set myself a deadline for end of May to have it.
Yeah.
Whatever. So yeah, so it's fun because it's just tips and ideas to share. And I asked myself, what do these young millennials want to learn from somebody my age? And then I just had a few millennials, say, like, you've got stuff to share. And
Yeah.
I always have that theory: take what you want, leave the rest.
Yeah. That's wonderful, and super title.
Yeah.
Leading with Elegance. It's super unique, and I could see that being very marketable, and catch people's eyes and catch people's attention, because
Mhm.
we talk a lot about leadership, and it can be kind of dry at times. And there's just so much leadership theory, but to take it and then to personalize it, and I think that would really give people the kind of the go ahead permission to explore their true self and their heart and their authentic self, and bring that forward in their leadership.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is elegance isn't a word that it's however you see that. It's about what you are and who you are. And
Hmm.
yeah, that's, I think, the funnest part about doing things like this, is because you dig within your own soul and try and bring forward and share. And that's all I love to just share. Giving back is the biggest thing that really inspires me. I love, yeah, whether that's what I tell people, whether it's your time or your resources, or your funds, whatever. It's
Your imagination, your creativity, your passion.
Yeah, like this particular, the first book, we're giving back to Dino Arts, so that, hopefully the book does well and we give
Yeah.
money back to the Dino Arts, who builds and maintains the dinosaurs in the valleys. So that's, again, the book does well, they'll do well.
Yeah.
We all, yeah.
Yeah, that's really wonderful.
Mhm.
Just shifting gears a little bit, Heather, how many mayors would you recommend that someone that's considering running for office interview before they throw their hat into the ring?
Well, when I decided to run, I actually went and visited 8 mayors in Alberta.
8. Okay.
8, yeah. And I'm not saying that people should. It just was, for me, I like to be able to do things and do them well. I don't want to fail at things, and I didn't know if I was the right person. And so I thought, who better to tell me than past mayor or previous, and some were past. And it was inspiring, I'm telling you, because they taught me things that I wouldn't have thought about. And they
Wow.
also made me look within myself and say, to be able to do this, you got to do your homework. And one of the biggest tips was, they reminded me, I'm not going to satisfy everybody. You can't make everybody happy. I shouldn't say I don't, because I don't like the word can't, but there are certain people that no matter what you do for them, it's never, it's
Never
not,
enough.
and they don't see it from your side as well. So I think that if you're going to run for any elected position, because you're not doing this for, in especially in municipal politics, you're doing it for the love of your community. And
Yeah.
that's, and you shouldn't be going into it because you have one one issue that you want to solve, because there's a whole gamut of stuff that you're dealing with. And I would encourage everybody, I watched tons and tons of council meetings just to get a feel of the layout and kind of the topics. So do your homework before you get into this, because it's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially
There was
social media, you're fair game.
well, in social media has just become so, it can become so antagonistic. And it's so easy for these naysayers or negative mindset folks to publish whatever they want, their opinion, which if they get a following could turn into, a bit of something with some momentum, and it can create quite the distraction. So how would you suggest that, or how have you in Drumheller dealt with some of those issues with trying to help the constituents understand what you do as mayor, what other councillors do, and to encourage other people to get informed and maybe even get involved?
Yeah, well, I think when we first got elected, we just had our council meetings as broadcasted, and now we do committee of the whole as well. And that's where really, to me, is an important meeting, because that's the stuff where you're really talking about it. You're not voting on anything, but lots of discussion is. So I think that really has helped. We've got a strong communications now, and as you do a lot more Facebook and videos and stuff that I've ever done in my whole life.
And going on game shows.
And you go on game shows. And so yeah, that was an interesting one. But what our council just recently did, which I think was one of the best things we did, was I keep track of everything we do.
Yeah, right.
All it never want to sound, it's just, you keep track of everything, like right down to building a dog park or whatever it is you do. And then a few weeks ago, we took a full page out in the paper.
Okay.
Because every year the paper here does, they want a year in review. And so I actually took and put everything down we've done over the last 3 years, right? So that everybody knows what we're up to, because that's the biggest thing is they're not, you can't expect them to know what you're doing all the time, because information is coming and going all the time. Where when they can see it in one full page, I think it was really, really a smart thing for us to do, because then people realize, and as I've said to people, even in there, I reminded them that the election is coming up, and if you want to run, get involved, because it's almost our civic duty to give back. But I also remind people, if you can pull off more than that and do more, then you should be running. Like, you should be giving back, because there's a lot of work that was accomplished. And I'm extremely proud of this council, administration, all the team behind them, because there was a lot of work done in the last 3 years, and we still got a ton to go.
Wow. That's a really powerful approach, and it probably would be a great lesson or a great suggestion for other municipalities, especially those that might be struggling with some of the strong negative or naysayers through the social media. Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah, well, because people need to, we all just assume that they know what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's not that way. It's not. And when you put it, like, even for myself, when I put it all on one page, it's like, wow, like we did do some great work, and extremely proud of. And with these, we've got some big projects in the works. Like, we got flood mitigation, downtown revitalization, rail, seniors housing. Those are all still in the works, besides all the small stuff that you get done.
Yeah, is that page, Heather, on your webpage, on the drumheller.ca webpage? That what I'd like to do is link it into the show notes.
I will find, if I'm not sure if the communications put it on, but I will definitely get it to you.
Yeah, that's super valuable. Shifting gears a little bit, can you tell us your kind of trajectory from childhood? Like when was this first kind of thought of becoming a politician did germinate, and was it to start at mayor?
Well, it started so with our family. I had three wonderful brothers and two parents, and unfortunately, I've lost my parents in the last year, and I lost my brother, and so it's been
Oh,
kind
sorry
of
to
a
hear that.
bad run. But so my oldest brother, who passed away, he said one of us had to give back to municipal politics. And when you're running a business, and I see it with everybody, we're all busy. It's hard
Mhm.
to balance. Well, again, I don't like the word busy, but we're all engaged in our organizations, and it was really tough for us to do, because I believe if you're going to give, you got to do it right. You got to.
Yeah.
And so when my brother junior passed away, there was my other two brothers left, but they both lived in different towns, so I was the only one here. My
Okay.
parents were 80 and they didn't want to. So I kind of got voluntold that I was doing this. And at first I was obviously quite apprehensive, because in our world my brothers were the forefront. They're the ones that people knew, and
Right.
they're the ones that spoke at meetings, and I was kind of like this mushroom in the back, and a lot of them didn't even know my brothers had a sister. So that's kind of
Wow.
how I was in our organization. And then I felt obligated with my brother passing and the election coming, and I thought, okay, it's time. And so that's when I did my homework. And then why did I go straight for mayor? um you don't know in this world,
Mhm.
you don't know in life. And I guess that's, for me, it was a reality that my brother was 55 when he passed away, so
Oh, wow.
at any time. And I thought, if I'm going to do this, I wanted to go for the mayor's chair. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I didn't go from counselor to, I just basically went from the private world into this world, and I love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely, and I'm not kidding when I say I have the best job in the valley. I really do, because you have the ability to make life great. I mean, Drumheller is an amazing community. It's I've been fortunate to travel, and there is no place that's unique like this. In fact, I
Yeah.
just met a fella the other day. They came down the valley for a weekend, and they found a place and stayed, because you're close to the city. You've got the airport an hour away,
Yeah.
Calgary's an hour and 15. You can go to work. And now with technology, like here we are, we're
Yeah.
thousands of miles apart. With technology, you can work from anywhere. So I love the valley. I mean, my 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 uncle asked me, he said, promise me you won't die in the valley. And I'm like, no, I can't promise that, because I love it here.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. So obviously, to go into politics first time, your first campaign, and get elected, you must have had some really incredible or inspiring vision that you could share and energize and animate the voters to vote you in.
Well, that's kind of the odd thing. I didn't really have a platform, which is unusual.
It is.
But I just, in fact, before I got elected, I saw the valley through rose-colored glasses. I thought everything was perfect,
Right.
and I loved it the way it was. And it's ironic how your residents take those glasses off pretty darn quick. And so all of a sudden you start seeing things that, oh yeah, well, that could be fixed and that could be fixed. And I don't know, it wasn't like I had a major, I want to change the valley. And I think it was just, again, it was about giving back, and it was about
Yeah.
taking, if our family's done well from the community, the people have been kind to us, and it's time I do something and volunteer, because really it's a volunteer position, no matter what way you slice. When you figure the hours you put in, you're not doing this for the money.
Yeah.
But I guess I just saw I had, it was time to just give back, really.
Yeah.
And when you get in here, all of a sudden you realize, wow, you do have the ability to make change. You do have the ability. I mean, I've been to Ottawa and Edmonton a lot, trying to help sell the community, and when you've got a strong support system from a great council who
Hmm.
believe in you and who rally with you, that's half the battle. And then when we've got a great CAO, and we have a great uh, flood mitigation program. We've got a great chief resiliency officer there. All of a sudden, you got this great team that are constantly giving you you're one. It's
Yeah.
almost like, yeah, you're moving as one, and when you're doing that, amazing things happen.
Yeah, and I think as well as is in line with your vision is passion. And that's
Yeah,
what when I read your bio and talking to you now, I see this spark, this passion for not only Drumheller and making it, and I think your bio says the most sought after community in Alberta. Why not
yeah.
Canada?
To be the
Right.
cleanest, friendliest, most sought after community in Alberta. Well, in Alberta, let's start, but let's move on. Yeah.
Yeah, and then combine that with your entrepreneurial spirit, which obviously started from a very young age, working in the family business and working with your daughter now, and 17 books and a business book, and I think a life coaching career developing is really inspirational. It's like how are you balancing all of these things now?
Well, I have an amazing husband who does so much for me, which is incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just when you come from the world, like a logistics world, you have to be
Yeah.
things are moving. Like when you're trying to get somebody's freight from one destination to another across Alberta, you have to be quick and you have to learn systems. And I think that's, I guess, in a lot of ways with the book that I want. They're just tips and tricks. They're not. I clearly I'm not. I don't have I don't have a great. I've got the career and the education of hard knocks. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's how our life was. We didn't have anything growing up, and so you went to school and then you went to work, and
Wow. Wow.
so
Actually, that's something that we had in common was you went to Red Deer College and played volleyball,
yes.
and I coach volleyball at Durham College in Oshawa.
Yeah, I got the ability to be able to go play, and I went for 1 year, and my dad fired his office manager
Oh,
and called me and said, "I need you home."
hey
And
Heather, you better get back here.
yeah, and that's exactly how it happened. And then, unfortunately, at that time, the business was really, really struggling at that time, and
Uh,
I just knew I could never go back. I couldn't expect my parents to, and they needed me there, and I never left, and now obviously I have no regrets at all.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And with Madison now and your website, how did that come about? And like I've scrolled through and I've read a couple of the posts, and which are really interesting, and the stories that you share as well. Is it's kind of like this show a little bit where it's a opportunity for people to share their story
Yeah,
and become inspirational to others.
that's exactly how it started. Is just we heard a few stories and we thought those stories could help other people, and so we just kind of started creating it. And the website evolved, and originally it was going to have a book club in it and different things like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then we kind of just we just kept getting these really inspiring stories sent to us, and then Madison loves to write, and so she's a great blogger, and she's that organizational queen. She should be writing her own. Well, in fact, I think she is writing her own organizational book, trying
Life
to go to law
logistics.
school, look
Yeah,
after this. So yeah,
yeah.
we're both kind of, we like to have too many things on the go. But yeah, and now it's kind of gone. It's really, we're getting inquiries from people all over, like around North America, that we don't know how it gets, because we don't boost it or a lot of that stuff. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
organic. But I think that's, it's it's positive and it's inspiring. And in a world today where you get, we get enough negative, we can get enough negative just by clicking on the wrong button. And I think that's what we want, is just things that are inspiring. Some of them are sad, like some of the stories are hard to read and they're sad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're help, if they help one other person, that's all the goal is. That's really all the goal is that if anybody can, I always say, if you read anything, whether it's an article, a book, or anything, and you gain one little lesson out of that, it was all worth the read.
Yeah.
And I've done it, I used to do a ton of reading. That's why actually this book that I'm working on is I always tried to find that book that actually helped me.
Right.
That could help me. And so my mother was my biggest inspiration. And that's why I started taking a lot of notes from things I learned from her over the years.
Yeah, that's awesome. When I was in grade 13, or maybe just going into university my first year, my dad gave me a book called Letters from a Businessman to His Son.
Oh, that's a nice one.
And then he wrote all the things that I wanted to say to you. But like, obviously the book, the author says them beautifully and eloquently and everything. And it's, I still have the book, and I visit with my dad, really often now. And I'm gonna chat with him the next time I see him. And I'm glad you kind of reminded me about that. But yeah, the legacy that we, our living legacy and then our lasting legacy are two really amazing lenses or frames to look at what we're doing and the contributions that we make, and to go back to our parents. And it's wonderful how you've taken that inspiration from your mom, and then sharing this with your daughter now. This multi-generational legacy is really inspiring. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and and speaking of your parents, I mean, enjoy every second you have with them. I mean, I would do anything just to have one more minute, one more hour.
Yeah. Heather, what are the things that make you most happy and most grateful?
Well, I think the number one is family. I've been blessed with, 3 amazing brothers, 2 wonderful parents, and then, being able to grow up with them, and then meeting, the love of my life, Kelly, and we played volleyball at high school, and
Okay.
we never really dated until after high school. He was just more my pal and my friend.
Yeah.
And he came to grad with me, and then that was kind of it. We've been together since.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, we've been blessed with 3 wonderful children, and family's everything to me. I mean, and I'm just so fortunate that, I still talk to my brothers.
Yeah.
And and then my kids are, they're incredible creatures. Like like my son Taylor just FaceTimed me last night just to make sure I'm okay. And family's everything to me. And then of course, then they're supportive because they know I have this brain that never really goes to sleep. It's always, and they're there and they support me all along the way. And that's, that's not everybody gets that.
No.
And then we have this unbelievable community that, when you go walk down the street and somebody just says, "Geez, Heather, thanks for all the work you do." That's all. That's really all. Thank you is the easiest word, and probably the least used word.
Yeah.
When somebody just says thank you, you know that you're doing the right thing. So I think with life in general, we got to acknowledge the little things, and we got to give people that feeling that they're, what they're doing in life is important
and appreciated.
And I'm very fortunate being mayor of this town, because people are very, very, very kind and very grateful for the work.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Tell us a little bit about your experience with the Bring Your A Game, that sponsor with Canada's Top Mayor Award. We had Don Mucci on the show last week, just before the first episode, and it looked like a lot of fun. The filming and the questions were hard.
They were, and I'm glad that you say that, because I was like, I think I consider myself fairly in the know. And it was like, I even said to my husband, I will never go on. I have a whole new respect for those who do game shows
Yeah.
because to think like on your feet like that. And then some of the questions is like, but yeah, it was fun. That, and it was about the food bank,
Yeah.
which I'm a big, big, in fact, here in the Valley, I started the one night food blitz and the Stuff Your Bus because I'm very passionate about making sure
Wow. Awesome.
families
Yeah.
are fed. And so when they said it was about the food bank, I'm like, I got to do this. So yeah, it was good. But
And
it
how,
was really
how
interesting.
long did the taping of it last?
It was about, I think it was about 45 minutes.
Oh, that's good
But
because
then when they,
the show was 30 minutes.
yeah, so
The
yeah,
game
by
show.
the
Yeah.
time they got us on there and we all met each other,
Yeah.
and that's the fun thing about this job is you get to, I get to meet incredible people like you, and you're meeting people all over that we're all just normal people just trying to do the best we can for
Well,
our,
normal people, but doing extraordinary things. And
well,
that's what I'm learning as well on the show on my journey. Getting to know you mayors better is like you're all like incredible people, and so entrepreneurial, politicians. But I'm almost thinking more entrepreneurial than political, and especially mayors. It's really interesting. One of the guests said, I think it was George Cuff, said that a mayor came up to him after and he'd left he was a mayor, then he became a MPP, so provincial, then he became an MP, and he said once became an MPP and an MP, he could walk down the street in his town, nobody even noticed him.
yeah.
When he was mayor, he was stopped. Every person that saw him stopped. He said, "Yeah, once I wasn't mayor anymore, and I became a provincial federal politician, I wasn't important in my hometown anymore." So it's
Well, and that is fair in the sense that yeah, you're pretty fair game, good or bad,
yeah.
wherever you go. And but again, I'm so fortunate. People seem to respect that. If they want to, I meet with everybody, whether it's on the phone, in person, on Zoom, whatever, because they wouldn't be reaching out unless they needed me for something.
Yeah,
I take
yeah,
time to meet with everybody I can. And
yeah.
again, that goes back to our council. When you have this amazing council that also does, a lot of people reach out to them. It's not all on one person. It's the balance is spread out. So if
Absolutely.
I could tell any mayor, geez, I hope you pray for you that you all have good councils because that makes your job definitely that much easier.
Yeah, yeah. What just to kind of wrap up, Heather, are there some favorite projects or kind of exciting new projects on the horizon for Drumheller that you can share with us?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of great, one big massive project we have is flood mitigation.
Uh-huh.
We live in the valley here. We've got the river flowing right through us, and when she's gentle, she's beautiful. But
Yeah.
when she gets owly, whew, you got to watch out. So that's why we're building all these berms throughout the valley, and where we can, they'll become part of our trail system.
Yeah, yeah,
And so that's an incredible project. That's a $55 million project with the provincial, federal, and municipal government.
yeah,
And so that we have to do that. Like now, the way the world is changing and the levels of government are requiring everybody to look after their communities. So
hmm
we have to put this in place, and then we're doing a whole downtown revitalization, and people have said in the past, well, everybody's other past have done that, and I agree. But they've done some great work in the past, and we're hoping to just build on that.
yeah.
So we're trying to create a big plaza and just a more inviting downtown. And then we've
Wonderful.
got seniors. We were fortunate to get a grant on a seniors housing, and because in the valley here we don't have that SL4, that living level where you're kind of near the end of your life, but you still
Right.
want equality and you still want respect. You still want to be respected and stuff. And so
Autonomy. Yeah.
yeah, so we're working on that, and big jobs working on trail system. I can't give you too much on that, but if we pull that off, that's going to be absolutely incredible for the valley.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we've got a lot of work ahead of us, and these are big projects. That thing you shouldn't. I guess I love that, but we took on a lot. we went from all, and so yeah, we got balls bouncing everywhere.
Well, that seems to be your modus operandi. So, hats off for that big vision, and more importantly, just getting it done and having the leadership expertise and that servant leadership kind of a theme and power is incredible. So congratulations.
We just want to get more people that want to come here, live here, and do business here. And I know that we're going to have that. It's because we're a great community.
Yeah.
Come here. Yeah. So even if you ever find your way here, I will entertain you and show you the valley and give you a tour.
Sounds great. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I've been through Drumheller, but definitely really enjoyed the beauty of it and the scenery and wonderful community. Heather, I just want to really thank you again for being a guest on the Thriving Mayor Show. Very inspirational. The entrepreneur journey that you've been on and are on is also super inspiring, and I think is a great model for all of us, whether we're considering politics or just as we come out of post-pandemic and maybe for looking for some way to give back and to share our special gifts. Really inspirational.
No, well, thank you for having me, and I like I say, this is great for I hope that if you get one thing out of this that helps somebody in the future, that's what it's all about, is just giving back in different forms. So no, I thank you for having me. This has been fun.
Oh, you're very, very welcome, and have a wonderful day, and looking forward to seeing you in Drumheller.
All right, you take care of yourself.
Thank you too. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for joining the Thriving Mayor Show. Make sure to like and share and tell your friends and colleagues. Mayors are awesome and are the change agents to enhance the quality of living for over 80% of us. Remember what Coach Wooden said, you cannot live a perfect day without doing something for someone who can never repay you. Much love and peace. Until next time.